Welcome to my personal finance series, where every week I share my portfolio and all of my investments with you. My name's Justin, I'm 26 years old, I've been investing for 8 years now, trading options for 4, and I think we're coming up on a once-in-a-generation investment opportunity. Every Monday and Friday, tune in to see my options plays and how I plan to hit well over $1 million before 2030. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button to help this channel out. Now let's get started with today's video. All right, here we are. This is episode 1 of this brand new series for personal finance. My name's Justin, and this channel is called Lifewell. And the purpose of this series is to share with full transparency some of my investments and how I plan to reach $1 million by 2030, which is a bit of a stretch goal, but I think it's entirely possible with this options strategy that I'm using. A little bit of background on why I'm doing this. So I'm 26 years old. I had to learn investing through just self-learning. I learned all of it through YouTube and Google and searching things online. And most of that was like 7 years ago, 6 years ago. And then most of the options learning was 4 years ago. I remember a lot of what I was doing was trying to figure out what was good information and what was just garbage, what was just junk. And the thing is, even though everything you need to know about investing online or is online for free, there's a lot of good stuff, but there's also a lot of like noise. And so after I figured out how to invest, I made a lot of money. I wrote a paper about it actually. So I got a 600% return in a year. And most of that was through trading Tesla options. And I figured like, if I can do this, why can't anyone do this? I don't have an education in finance. I don't have millions of dollars. I literally started with $7,000 and then I went up to about 53,000. If you factor, because it shows negative, you just have to do a little bit of math here. It'd be like plus 7,000 from -4 to plus 7. So plus 11,000. So $53,000. I made $47,000 at my peak. I lost a bunch after that. But the thing is, I figured it was weird. Like something was off. It seemed like the whole world of investing wasn't as complicated as it seemed. It's like, if I could do it, why can't anyone do it? I literally just learned it and as I was going, and it made me more than enough money than I thought was possible. So that's what kind of kicked off this whole Lifewell thing. So that's what this account's for. This account is to share general investing advice. It can go from beginner to advanced. This series will be more advanced, but I do have some more longer format videos that will be more beginner. So those will cover things such as dollar cost averaging, Roth IRAs. How do you invest in the first place? How much money do you need to invest? What is fundamental analysis? What is technical analysis? So that video will be coming soon. That's one of my main videos that I have planned. I do have another video specifically for trading options. And then my last video, or one of those videos, I have 3 main ones coming, will be how to invest in artificial intelligence. The second reason why I'm doing this is because I believe that we're on the cusp of one of the best investment opportunities ever, and that is artificial intelligence. So last year, I spent a lot of 2023. I quit my job. I was focusing on my health. I was working out. I was doing stuff. But in the meantime, while I was bored and while I was trying to do something with my life, I wanted to spend a good amount of time learning about AI. And that was right when ChatGPT became mainstream. All of a sudden, GPT-4 was like huge. It was like the fastest growing app in history, actually, is what I remember. And I was curious as to like, what else is going on with AI? How did this GPT-4 just suddenly come out of nowhere? And I'll say, I mean, you don't know me. Maybe you do if you're, well, who knows? But if you don't know me, just know that if I spent a lot of time researching this stuff, I'm fully convinced that AI will be everywhere in the next 10 years, like everywhere. I think every single job will have AI. I think every single form of entertainment will be a form of AI. I think half of people's friends and relationships will have some element of AI involved. It's crazy. It's like almost gross. And it's happening a little sooner than I expected and a little sooner than I wish it would, because I'm so young and I kind of want a normal life, but who knows, these are interesting times to be alive. So that's the purpose of this video and this series. So I'm going to go through a little bit about like what are my option strategies at a high level. And then every week I'll update you on how it goes. And so right now, this account is worth $38,000. Since I started trading options on Robinhood again and resumed this whole options adventure, I'm up 13,000. So today, I'm up 1,800, which is actually a pretty mild day. Last week, actually, so Tesla is my main position, and I went from negative 4,000 to positive 28,000 over the course of 6 days, which is kind of insane. It just goes to show you that if you're brand new to investing, don't dive right into options. You will get screwed and you will lose all your money. But if you're more advanced and you want to get a different opinion on how you can invest, I think this is a pretty good strategy. So what I'm doing is I'm picking the best company in the world. I'm taking a strike price that is at least 100% out of the money, and I'm taking a strike date that is at least 9 months away, preferably at least 12 to 16 months away. So if you look here, I have 5 Tesla strategies here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have one random GameStop call just because that'll be a different video. But I have 5 Tesla strategies, and they're all very high strike prices. So what I do is I trade the premium of the options contract, and then I sell it before it gets exercised. So in this case, I bought 300 call strike price for January 2025, 420 call for June 2025, a few small ones, and then this call debit spread, which is a little bit of a more conservative, but still super bullish call debit spread strategy for January 2026. High level, without getting into all the details, the strategy is pick the best company that you can think of, something that's going to change the world and that's innovating at a pace that no other company can catch up with. I think Tesla is the best because of their full self-driving. And it's not just that full self-driving is going to make cars completely change overnight, and all of a sudden you can run a car, like Elon has said, 50 hours a week instead of 10 hours a week. You'll have this fleet of cars that just wake up all of a sudden out of nowhere or in the next few years, and they can just drive places. It's not just that. It's the fact that they're building real world AI, and the fact that right now the car is their form factor, but they can put that AI into anything. And they are. They have an Optimus robot, which is a humanoid robot that can basically do any task that you give it because it's learning real world AI. The ChatGPT AI isn't real. I mean, it is AI, but it's not like the future, I think, because there was this Lex Fridman podcast episode with this French guy. I forgot what his name is, but he works at Facebook. He basically summarizes how LLMs are a little bit of a sham because it's a bit of like a fool's gold thing. And I might be slightly wrong in the details, but the idea is that the LLM looks at like your words and it just kind of picks tokens that make sense from a probability standpoint to answer your question. It's not really like thinking that hard. It's just kind of putting together tokens. And I think Sam Altman himself said that like, when it comes to ChatGPT, if you ask it, what is the meaning of life, and like some really hard question or some physics question, or if you ask it, what is the color of the sky, the amount of energy it uses to compute both answers is like the same. So we're not quite there yet in terms of super smart white collar job AI, but we're getting there. In terms of real world AI, navigating through the real world with robots, with mostly robots, Tesla is the number one. So in this series, I'll cover kind of just like my daily progress. This is the Tesla stock chart on TradingView, which is the best website for stock charts in my mind. And I have a price target way up here. This is 1,800 by 2028. You might think that's insane, and that's a tenfold increase from where we are today. And the thing is, this isn't even my price target. This is just me taking other people's work and applying it to my options strategy. I'm not smart enough to figure out exactly how to get this price target and how to calculate market potential opportunity and all this stuff. Instead, I just use the knowledge of other people and then apply my option strategy to it. And so if you look back in time, by the way, this is a logarithmic y-axis, which helps look at things historically from a exponential growth standpoint. But if you look back in time, Tesla stock, and a lot of stocks for that matter, tend to trade sideways for a long period of time, and then they have a huge spike up. then they trade sideways for a really long period of time, in this case, like 6 years, and then they have a huge spike up. And now we've been trading kind of sideways, kind of down even with this blue line downtrend since January 2021. So now it's been three and a half years trading mostly sideways. A lot of people think Tesla stock is overvalued. I think those people don't understand what Tesla's actually working on. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to go sideways for maybe another few months or maybe a year or two, who knows? But eventually we're going to get a spike up. So the idea is that even if Tesla stock doesn't spike up in the next year or two, this call option might go worthless. It's entirely possible that I lose all of this call option price and goes to zero. But the idea is, even if I'm wrong, I can just do it again the next year, and I can just do it again the next year. Obviously, this is a bit of a risky strategy and a bit of a privileged thing to say that I can just keep blowing $10,000 every year. But the idea is that my expected value of if I'm right is so high. It's so incredibly high. If Tesla stock goes from 180 to 1800, that means the stock price will go up tenfold. An options contract could go up 100-fold. That, to me, the risk is worth it. So to wrap up this video, I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's two websites, or at least there's one calculator that I created for Lifewell expected value calculator. And then there's this website called OptionStrat, which is a really, really good website if you trade options, to look at the return on your investment, your ROI profitability matrix for various option strategies. And so, for example, Tesla 420 called June 2025 is one of my biggest holdings. I picked 420 strike price because it's hilarious, and also because there was actually more volume on 420 because humans are stupid and we like funny numbers. So 420 was my call strike price, and my strike date is a little bit over a year from now. And if you look, if I'm wrong, I get blown up. My entire call option gets destroyed. If I'm right, you're looking at like a 3,000% return on my investments. So I have, this will be saved for a future time, maybe on Friday, but some future video, I'll go into a little bit more detail on one of these weekly episodes before the more formal how to trade options video comes. But I have a formula for expected value divided by 2. If it's greater than 300% ROI, then the option strategy is worth it. In this case, it's 720, which divided by 2 is still 360. So this is a good strategy for me, I believe. And if I'm right, in 2 years, we're looking at anywhere from 120,000 to 600,000. And if I'm wrong, I lose everything. So what I do is I create a series of outcomes using a kind of scrappy Monte Carlo simulation with 5 outcomes, from very bearish to very bullish, assign a probability, calculate the return on investments, and calculate general, kind of like where would I be if I was right. And so, yeah, once again, this is kind of an overview. Today was a decent day. I haven't sold anything, so it doesn't really matter if I've made or lost money because it's not realized yet. But yeah, that's episode 1. If you're interested in this kind of thing, and if you want to keep following along, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye. Feel free to subscribe to stay tuned for future video tutorials that I'll be releasing soon, and to follow along with me on this journey. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, or visit lifewell.co for more information about investing. And as always, I'll see you next time.